Hello and welcome to the UK Motorhome Market Show, and today we are talking about damp in motorhomes and what every owner needs to know. So damp is the most common thing that you'll come across as an issue in a motorhome and is one of the biggest things in price changes across them, more than mileage, more than condition, more than anything you can think of. Unfortunately, most people don't realise it's there. It's too late by the time it's obviously appeared, or don't know where to look, etc. Now, this isn't done to scare anybody off, it's just to make people aware, because what we want to do is make sure we catch it at the right stages if it does happen, or prevent it, or do whatever we can to keep our prized possessions at the maximum price that they can be. In the motorhome industry, damp is one of the biggest issues that we see on a day-to-day basis with the amount that we do go out and buy. If you get a motorhome that's got damp, it can cost thousands of pounds depending on the extent of it. It is more of a price adjustment than any age, mileage, condition or anything that you can get. Most people unfortunately don't know it's there, which is where a lot of the problem occurs, or don't know where to look for it. So this isn't to scare people off, it's just to educate people so they know where to look and maybe even prevent it from happening to keep our prized possessions at the maximum price possible. Apart from right now, whilst we're filming this and it's 33 degrees outside, the UK is obviously a very damp country. We get exposed to a lot of the elements. You've got motorhomes that are stored outside 365 days a year. And obviously with all that rain and everything that hits it, it does give a very big tendency to get damp. And unfortunately, because all coach-built motorhomes are constructed by hand, they've got sealant in every area that you can think of, whether it's around the windows, whether it's where the floor meets the walls or the floor meets the ceiling, etc. And if any of those sealants aren't done properly or fail, that's when water will find the smallest hole to get into, and unfortunately that's where issues can occur. Obviously the UK, like I said, is one of the worst countries. There was a company that we used to do some work for, and they started importing Italian motorhomes, which is obviously very dry. And when they were selling them from new in the UK, after a while they came back as damp, and they kept going back to the Italian company and saying, look, we've got these damp motorhomes. And they say, well, there's nothing wrong with them over here. So eventually they ended up saying, we'll send them back to Italy and we'll have a look at them. And by the time they sat in the vineyards for 4 to 6 weeks, in 35-degree heat, they were bone dry again. So it is very much a problem in this country, which is why we need to take extra care when it comes to damp checking them and doing the habitation checks. Can the manufacturers do better in the first place? Yes. Can we do better as owners? Absolutely also. So as explained a few seconds ago about how motorhomes are put together, like I said, it is around the windows, it is around where any side or ceiling or floor is put together. To my knowledge, I can't say that there's any brand out there that is 100% damp-free or water ingress-free. It's down to how they were made on the production line or how they've been cared for after. Even some of the brand new ones, a couple of months after sale, they can get a stain or something like that, and they do need that work, and that's where it's really important to keep that warranty up to date, which we'll get to shortly. So something I do just want to differentiate is condensation versus water ingress. So condensation is where air meets a cold surface, and that's where you get condensation on, mirrors at home when you've gone in the shower. It's completely different to water ingress, which gets in via a seal. Obviously, there are examples of if you've got a leaking tap or pipe or something like that inside the motorhome that's been leaking for a while, that it can leak into the floor. And if the floor's made of wood, that's how it happens. So yeah, so just to touch back on that, most motorhomes until recently were made of wood, and that's where a lot of the issues come from. So the difference, and why we're talking about it, is condensation acts in a different way inside of a motorhome. A bit like if you was to put some garden furniture upholstery into the garage when it's got a little bit damp and you get to see that mold going on. That's a good example of what can happen to upholstery in a motorhome. It's different to water coming in from the outside in, unless you're talking about a tap leaking or something like that. Now, you can get the dehumidifiers and put them into a motorhome. I mean, everybody always talks about how they get really full, but one thing that you've got to remember, there are several vents around a motorhome. So you are effectively trying to dry out the world. So it doesn't really matter how many of them you put in, you're still going to get that moisture in there, but hopefully it goes some way to making sure that nothing does go mouldy, especially when your motorhome's locked up for long periods of time, especially over the winter. How would I manage it? There's a few things. First of all, ventilate regularly. You don't want to be leaving them for long periods of time. You want to have the dehumidifiers that we just spoke about a minute ago. They do help. They're not going to be faultless, but they are going to help. Airflow helps throughout the van. And then one big thing for me that I would definitely do, either put a heater in there or turn the heater on at certain points, for either a few hours or even a few days if you don't mind doing so. And that will just help dry the van out as well. And then in the UK, with motorhomes being used for small amounts of time, it's all about storage. So you've either got external or internal. Obviously, there's so many places, whether it's on your drive or at storage sites, that you can store it externally. You can, at some places, pay to park it in a barn. It does get quite expensive quite quick. I'll probably say it's 3 to 4 times more than external. But again, you're just taking it out the elements. If you've got rain that's battering it all the way through the year, it's going to get damp. Or there's not necessarily going to get damp, but there's a better chance of it getting damp versus it being stored inside. And whichever the circumstances, you just need to make sure you have one of these, which we'll get to in a minute, and check it regularly. So the most important thing, what is a habitation check? This is a very key thing when it comes to that. Think of it as an MOT, but for a motorhome on the home side of things. So first of all, you'll have a water ingress check. You'll have them checking out your electrics, your gas, your water systems, any catches or anything like that on the covers, just to make sure that everything's good to go the next time you take it out. Obviously, there's a lot of safety in there when it does come to the gas, because you don't want that to go wrong. Old pipes that need replacing, etc. So the AWS is a industry certificated scheme in the UK. It's jointly run by the Caravan and Motorhome Club and the NCC, which is the National Caravan Council. It's been running since about 1978 and has over 500 approved workshops. I mean, these workshops are inspected annually, the technicians are all trained, and obviously always when you do go to book, look out for an NCC AWS workshop and always look at the reviews and make sure that the place you're taking them to is the sort of place you do want to go to. And as we said a second ago, damp readings or water ingress readings are something that I just want to talk about, and it's an important part of it. So this is a Protimeter SurveyMaster. It is the gold standard of damp meters in the trade, and the one that we use. You've got two options when it comes to these. You've got the 2 pins on the top, and you've got a scanner at the back. The scanner is the one that I tend to use. It is a lot quicker when you are checking a van, and I tend to find the pins are quite invasive because obviously you're leaving two small holes potentially in the van. So as you can see from here, if I put my hand across that, we are made of water, quite mostly, and that will give you a 999 reading, which is 100% damp. So if I'm going to read this table here, which is a table made of wood, and just put the pause on, you can see that says 122. So that's 12.2% damp water. And obviously it was a living thing, it is wood, so you're always going to get that sort of range of water in the table. So that's 0 to 15%, no cause for concern. 16 to 20%, it warrants further investigation. Are the seals failing, etc. 21 to 30%, moisture may be evident unless visible signs, i.e. staining, pimpling, softness, etc. You might not need to strip down at that point. It might just be a case of drying out and you're good to go. But if you do see that staining, on certain motorhomes, it might be blue staining up the wall. Pimpling sounds just how it looks, and softness is if you touch it and the wood's gone soft because it's degraded. It's another strong case for repair. And then 31% plus, you're getting towards the quite possible structural damage at that point, and that means that you do have to replace, or most likely have to replace, those walls or floors or ceilings or whatever that you've got there. So the big thing is catching it is key, especially early. The earlier you can find it, the better. I think if I was to have my own motorhome, I'd be checking it once a month, once every 2 months, something like that. and you just go around anywhere that you could see a seal, and just go like that. Simple as that, and it will shout at you if it is damp, and there's a good chance that you can just put the heaters on, dry it out, and you're good to go. Well done for you for checking. If it does get to the stage of repair, it does get expensive quite quick, because you've got to remember, if you've got, let's say the floor's damp as a big example. Let's say this is the floor here, this table. You've got the walls that are built up and you've got the roof on top. Inside, you've also got all the cabinets, the seating, you've got all the kitchen, the bathroom. In order to replace this floor, you have got to take the motorhome apart. That is not a quick and easy job. That is potentially 70, 80 or 100 hours of labour. The cost of the parts are not particularly expensive, but the labour costs are quite a bit. So, again, I'm not trying to scare you with this. It's just, it's going to take quite a while for the motorhomes to get to that point. It's just make sure you do your check, because we want you to get the most out of your motorhome in terms of experience and money as well. And then, obviously, when it comes to a habitation check, quality of the checker does count as well. Make sure that you get someone who's very reputable, got decent reviews, got good product knowledge and experience. So what does this mean when it comes to selling? Now, there's a strong chance that this is where any damp is going to be found, or from our experience at least, because there's people who have them for a long time, they don't use them, they don't check them, etc. And this is where it's found, whether it's from a dealer, because we're going to pull one of these out, or from a private individual that's looking to buy it privately. And the reason that the dealers are quite particular on this is because at the end of the day, when it goes on a forecourt, whether it's damage, damp, systems not working, it needs to be ready to the standard that you would expect to be buying one in. So it needs to be as near to perfect as it can be. And obviously with any damage or water issues or electrical issues, gas issues and everything like that, the cost needs to be put into it to make sure it's right. And that obviously takes money and time. From a dealer's point of view, it might take 2-3 months to be able to get the motorhome right. Obviously, if they buy it today, they've got to then stand it at whatever price value that they bought it in at. To get it sorted, it's going to take a lot of time and effort to do. So that's why dealers do tend to do that, and that's why it's so important to either buy your own damp meter or get a regular habitation check. So here's what every owner should do. If you own one, service it regular, get your damp meter, ideally indoor storage if possible, get a written damp report from the person who's servicing it and keep it ventilated. If you're buying one, ask to see the habitation history. Ideally, you've got a relatively recent report. Maybe even do a damp check yourself if you've got one. I mean, these are several £100, I'd probably say £400 or £500 today. There are other options on Amazon and other places like that, which are a lot cheaper. But at the end of the day, the reason we go for this is because it's the best, and it's going to save us a lot of money in time and effort and making sure we catch everything as well. If it does have the high readings, it's not an automatic no. It just depends on the extent of the high readings, and it's weighing up the acceptable levels and if there are any repairs that need doing. And this is where you do get more of an advantage with buying from a dealer, because you've got those warranties, you have got vans that will have been serviced, etc., versus buying privately, where there's no saying that any of this has been done, and you just don't know what you're buying at the end of the day, and there is zero comeback when you do buy a private motorhome. Then obviously on the flip side, if you're selling, a hab check can be really useful to see, because one, you know exactly what you're selling, and two, it's just useful for the next person who's buying it. But obviously if you've got a dealer coming around, they are going to do these checks anyway. So it depends which route you're going down. A dealer will do these checks, so you probably don't need to spend the cost of the habitation check unless it's kept under warranty or it's due. But for a public person who's coming around, it would be really useful to see. And I keep talking about the warranty side of things as well. If you have bought something that's still under the new warranty period, I mean, this can be as much as 10 years, you need to get that motorhome serviced every single year without fail around its anniversary of registration. The reason being, if you miss one of those services, your warranty is gone. Any damp, any other issues that occur with the van, that is then on you. So it's so important to get that habitation check done yearly. Whether it's new, whether it's used, whether it's under its warranty, please get it checked. I don't want to say that damp is the end of the world, it's not, because we see so many of them, I'm going to be honest, and it's generally by people who just don't service them anymore, which is a real shame. Just make sure you get the damp meter, check them regular. The earlier you find it, you're absolutely fine. Like any house or anything that you buy, there's always going to be something that you need to service and count a habitation check and a damp check as part of that service. Damp free obviously demands a much higher price when it comes to selling it, and obviously if you do want to sell your motorhome, please do get in touch with us at We Buy Any Motorcaravan for a free quote, and we look to seeing you on the next one.